Welcome back to the Angler Journey podcast for another episode of celebrating success, embracing failure, and inspiring the entrepreneur inside of you. I'm your host, Emily Frenzen, and we are back this season with another episode of talking about business starts that happened during the pandemic. Cinch's story is an incredible story of working in a family business and starting something while being in high school. Cinch is a freshman at the University of Nebraska, Lincoln, who started his business Farmhouse Blooms Bounty in Ashland, Nebraska with his mom. We are gearing up to talk about family business, what it looks like to work in slow seasons, and how we can learn from something like a pandemic and lean into failure. So Cinch, before we get into the nitty-gritty of business, go ahead and share a little bit about who you are, share your major, and anything about your background that you would like the audience to know.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Cinch. I'm from Ashland, Greenwood, so 30 minutes, I think, east of Lincoln. My major is horticulture, and my business did start, it was my senior year of high school in the summer. Yeah, it was, kind of bizarre, and my mom's like, hey, I have land. Do you want to, make some arrangements? I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And she's like, well, you really don't have a choice. You're going to do it because, I have the flowers. I already bought the flowers. Like, cool beans. All right, let's do this now.
Yeah. So it took off from there?
Yeah, it was kind of weird because I was in FFA, Floriculture.
Yeah.
I started my sophomore year in high school. Funny story is I just wanted points so I can go on the end of the year field trip, so I wasn't really caring about floriculture. And then I actually enjoyed it. And then my sophomore year, first time ever in Ashland and Greenwood history, the floriculture team made it to state.
Wow.
We got second at districts and second at state. We were one away from going to nationals.
Would you say all of this experience and being an FFA is what gave you the knowledge you have now about flowers?
Yes, it has. Because, one, I honestly didn't know a single thing about flowers. I didn't know there was, I knew there was different types of flowers. No clue what their names was. I only know what a rose was. I could, rose is simple. You see roses everywhere. It's pretty classical. Other than that, no clue all the other flower names. I'm still learning all the flowers names, the scientific names, the common names. Mm-hmm. So I'm learning all that still because there's new flowers pretty much every year. People are creating new flowers, new hybrids. And then you have to find what's in styles this year and the next year. What can you do? What can you make with everything you got? What goes together? What doesn't?
Yeah. So I want to take us a few steps back and talk about how you actually formed the idea into a business. So tell us what that was like for you and your mom and what the business is called, because we haven't said that yet.
Yeah, that's true. So how the business started, like I said, I was in FFA floriculture. Uh-huh. I had a passion for doing that. In high school, I really never knew what I really wanted to do, but I always knew I wanted to own my own business.
Pause. Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
So did you have that as a child too? That you knew you wanted to own your own business?
Yes.
That's
in middle
incredible.
School, I actually opened a produce business.
Oh my gosh.
It was not a normal produce stand where you just sit there. I went to actually door to door, asked people what they wanted, and I hand delivered it to all of them. Yeah, it was the hot days in Nebraska, middle of July, were not fun to deliver or go out and ask. I sweat very easily, so I was pretty much dripping sweat, and I was like, would you like to order anything? And it was just gross. I went to trying online orders, didn't know how to work that, so I didn't do that a whole summer. Found a job at Mahoney, worked there all through high school pretty much, starting my sophomore year. Worked for a welder. I thought I could do welding, thought I would enjoy that because my dad, he's a welder for BNSF. He's like, well, everyone needs a welder. You know, they're not going to go out of style. I'm like, okay, well, let's try that. Did not like it whatsoever. I don't know. It was too hot. I was, too hot. The drive was an hour one way. So I really didn't like driving an hour one way. And I didn't have a passion for it. So I quit that. Then I went to, Floriculture. I was like, I'm good at it. Maybe I can make this into a thing. So my senior year, my mom asked me, hey, do you want to do flowers for prom and do corsages? I was like, I have no clue how to charge. No clue how to charge, where to get flowers, how to do it. Didn't know how to get any of the supplies. And then, those were all excuses. I was also pretty lazy, and that's not good whatsoever. Then the summertime, my mom told me, hey, I am growing flowers. Me and your dad have been talking about this. We know you're good with flowers. I like growing stuff. Do you think we can create a business with this? I was like, yeah, sure. And that's pretty much how I started. So I'm a partial owner of the Farmhouse Blooms Bounty in Ashland. So that's pretty cool. And, that's how it started. A little nervous. We really didn't know how to do anything, price anything. We grew our own flowers in the summer, and we're going to do that this year too. My mom did a lot of research on, pricing flowers. I helped a little bit. I was still pretty lazy. I'm going to admit that. Then I took Angler 101, and it got me thinking a little bit like, hey, I cannot be lazy. If I really want this to grow, I need to start doing a little bit more. And yeah, my mom taught me stuff, and I taught my mom stuff, because my mom was always scared. Like, why is our business not going? Why is it not booming? We are not making enough money. We're not selling enough. I'm like, well, Mom, you got to calm down. And she wanted me to make arrangements every single day. And I told my mom, I really don't want to do that because, one, we have no customers to give them to. We're not in town, so not a lot of people are going to be driving out here. We live in the country, so a mile outside of town. And our road is a dirt road where all the semis for a feedlot use. So they're, constant feed wagons, semis, tractors, everything come on this road. I'm like, Mom, we're out 1 mile outside of the town. We don't have in-town advertisement. So people aren't going to come in and buy stuff. Mm-hmm. So she's like, okay. Halfway through, the school year, she's like, okay, I understand that now. So she finally realized, hey, we cannot be, wasting product. Pretty much that would we'd be doing. We would cut the flowers off, and we would waste product, or we would bring flowers in and we would waste all we had.
Yeah.
Then she taught me, she got on my butt a little bit. She's like, you need to start doing a little bit more, or this is not going to do good. Tell me if you really want to do this, or if you don't, because me and your dad will stop this business right now. Mm-hmm. And that hurt a little bit, hurt my pride. But I was like, no, I'm going to do more. Teach me how to do, bookkeeping and all this stuff. And she does bookkeeping for another business. And she was like, okay, I can do that. She, waited a long time. I'm like, Mom, I can't help you. I can't be more involved in the business on the financial side if you don't help me. I can do all the floral arrangements. I can do that easily. But I want to help on the, financial side. So she taught me how to bookkeep. It's really not that hard. I found out it's just, typing in numbers and letters. So not that hard at all. She taught me how to do that, so I know how to do that. Like any other business, we fight a lot because, one, we're family, and that's what family does. We get on each other's nerves. We've not yelled, but talked loudly at each other, and we've gotten frustrated at each other. And then we actually realized, hey, they have a point, and we push through that, do whatever, and so yeah, that's how the business started pretty much, and kind of how it's going so far. Honestly, I think, I hate to say it, but everyone in the business, it doesn't matter, how long you had that business, I feel like you're going to be a little lazy every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's okay to be lazy, just don't, be lazy for too long. Like I was, and, we didn't, I think after I've, kind of stepped up a little bit more, business, produced a lot more, and, I've been more active. The best way to combat that is, honestly, the one thing I get distracted on all the time is my phone. It's terrible, The one thing I do, and to get me off my phone, is I use my phone, but I switch it to Pandora, and I plug it into some speakers, and I start jamming out, and then I make flower arrangements while I'm jamming out to
That's awesome.
2000 music, the Lady Gaga era, stuff around there. Yeah. Yep, that's
awesome.
That's what I do. But I think it's completely different for everyone. You just got to know what distracts you, what keeps you lazy. If you can use that to make you not lazy, go for it. But if you need to set it aside, put it somewhere, I wouldn't say forget about it, because I can't really forget about my phone, because my mom gets all the messages on what they want to order, so I have to use that.
Yep.
So if it's something that you use every single day for your business, find a different way to use it, and don't sit on it.
Yep.
And find other ways to use it productively.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I do it. I don't know if it's going to work for everyone, but just finding what makes you lazy is probably the best tip I can give, and try to use it in a different way, or just forget about it if it's not vital to your business.
Yeah, awareness seems like it's step one often.
Yes, it is very much.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. That's awesome. So I want to ask you about the pandemic, because you would have started this a year after things happened in your high school, probably, right?
Yeah, the high school completely shut down my junior year. My senior year, it was still a little iffy.
Different than normal. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then even the freshman year, it was still some things you still have to have a mask, and it's a little weird. COVID really taught me, it taught me it's okay to take risk. You should do it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think during COVID, I kind of wanted to do my senior year, I did want to do prom flowers, but I was still nervous and didn't know what to do. Then it did help that my mom asked me hey, would you want to start a business with us? I'm like, you know what the heck, why not? Because I was committed to UNL. I don't know. I was still in the in-betweens of going to Concordia for pole vaulting, or UNL for the angler program.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mrs. Estrella, actually Miss Mosel now. She went to UNL, and she's like, you need to go to UNL. They have a really great program called the angler program, because, owning your own business is, what you want to do. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go and, do what is it, a visit. And the angler program was the deciding factor of me going here. Met with Tom. Shout out to Tom. But he pretty much told me how everything was, and I was like, yeah, I like it here. This is really amazing. This is a great program.
It's so cool.
And I was like, you know what the heck? I'm going to the angler program. They're built on entrepreneurship, so why not start a business? So that helped too. But yeah, COVID really taught me, take some risk. The big businesses, they can provide a lot, but they can't provide everything. So everyone needs smaller businesses to improve life. Kind of like the computer with Bill Gates. Bill Gates, there was already a computer. Everyone, I'm guessing, probably thought, it can't get much better than that. But Bill Gates, fine-tuned it, made it better. So, he started pretty small. I think he started in a garage as well. So, you can start a business anywhere. Me and my mom started our business in our garage. That was half my dad's garage for, keeping junk in there. So, yeah, you don't really need a big building or a building to start. You can just start from your home, and anything can happen. Some people may not want to come out and visit every single day. It was hard for me and my mom to realize that. My mom, longer than me, to realize, hey, not everyone's going to come out and buy our flowers. Because we did flower bouquet stands on our property. I think one day I was out with my girlfriend somewhere doing something. I'm like, hey, Mom, are you sure you can handle the flower bouquet? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. I texted her like 30 minutes in. I'm like, hey, has anyone come? She's like, not a soul. She's like, why are we doing this? I'm like, well, Mom, it's okay. Not everyone's going to come out every single day and get our flowers. She's like, I know, but like, we picked these. We did all this work. They're going to go to waste. And it was a hot day, and flowers really don't do good in hot or really hot or really cold environments.
Right.
So like around 55 degrees to like 40 low end. So they like that area. She's like, we did all this work. They're going to go get ruined. I'm like, yes, Mom, we did all that work. It's fine. We'll pick up. Don't doubt yourself. We're going to do good. And after that, she kind of realized, yes, not everyone's going to come and visit us and buy some flowers. So that really helped us. I don't know if it was because we're a mile outside town, it was too hot, or it was COVID. But all three of them had a role in it.
Right.
So it was there was some things due to COVID. So, we every once in a while, we did have some people come out, spend $50, $100, and I think a lot of big businesses, hit, they hit a really big drop due to COVID, and, them worrying, and my mom and I, learned, hey, you gotta stay calm. You can be a little nervous, but you have to stay calm.
Right.
You can't let your nerves freak you out, because if you do that, hate to say it, your business is gonna tank. And you're not going to do good, and you're just going to be on a downhill slide.
Yeah, you sound like a really good sounding board for your mom.
I can't take all the credit for that, because I have doubted myself a lot. Thinking, what am I doing? This is so pointless. Why can I do this? And my mom's like, Cinch, you need to calm down. You're fine. It looks great. Let's calm down. So, I don't want to sound like, I'm the best, but my mom has helped me with that. So
that's awesome.
It's really nice to have each other, even though we argue,
yep,
a good amount of times, but
that's the beauty of partnership.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah, totally. So when it gets hard, what is your why for the business?
Because my mom, she wants to do this as a job, as another job. And I want to do it as a job too, but we want to provide good local flowers in the summertime, at least, because we have talked to a lot of other florists that bring in from South America, because they have great growing conditions there, bringing it from outside of the United States. The flowers are totally different. They don't look as good. They're not flowers are wow worthy, but what they bring in, some of the flowers are like, wow, I can't believe I bought that. Not rough looking. So we want to bring local flowers back to the United States. Yeah, it might be a little bit more expensive. Every florist will try to price it evenly. So the wholesalers, so we're part wholesaler, part florist. The wholesalers will try to, grow flowers that are unique to Nebraska, or, that can be grown in Nebraska, because we're a hardy zone 4B or 5B. I don't know. So, we're in the winter, we get a little cold for the flowers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we try, every wholesaler tries to, grow something that the bigger wholesaler providers provide, to try to grow it locally so they can have local flowers. Because I think during COVID, everybody really wanted local stuff, not shipped in. Mm-hmm. So, we're trying to bring that back, and we try to provide local flowers, good looking arrangements. Like, me and my mom have a saying. If one of us say, "Oh, it looks good," and the other one looks at it and says, "Just good," we don't go for good. We go for great. We want someone like talking about it. So like each time we deliver, it's helped that we stayed local, and not a lot of people outside of Ashland has bought flowers, and we try to go. Mm-hmm. So we asked like a couple days later, like, how were the flowers? And people are like, they look great. They were amazing. Thank you so much. Like, that's what we strive to do. Like, we strive for amazing flowers, providing amazing flowers. Not because we want to hear it. It's nice, but we want everyone to have amazing looking flower arrangements.
What services do you provide?
We do sell flowers, but we might start selling honey, some soaps maybe. We do provide flowers. We can do funerals, daily flowers. So if you want to, get your wife or get your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, we can, if you want flowers, we can do that. Weddings, graduations, prom, homecoming. We have an egg business, so we have some chickens and we sell, farm fresh eggs.
So if people want to get in touch with you about floral arrangements, how can they do that and where can they find you?
Okay, so if you go to Facebook and you type in Farmhouse Blooms and Bounties, we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram at Farmhouse Blooms and Bounties. We have an online website on Shopify.
Awesome.
We're still a little rough and, making all that. And then a phone number to contact is 402-312-0823. Yeah, that's my mom's, and she pretty much handles all the orders because we don't have like a store phone yet. And, she tells me what we have for orders, and I just make them.
Super cool.
So, yeah.
So the last question I'm going to ask you for today is a fun one we have been asking everyone this season. What is a hill that you are willing to die on, Cinch?
Family isn't blood, because I have a lot of friends I would consider family. They, we're not related whatsoever, but honestly, if they were in trouble and they contacted us, they would have a place to stay, people that care about them. Family isn't blood. That's something I would live by, because there's a lot of random people that I've met. There's a guy at the UNL dining hall. His nickname's Big Al. Honestly, I would consider him family. Mm-hmm. And I, had a serious talk with him just yesterday. And I, met him for the first time, pretty much for the first time, and had a deep conversation with him. And I'm like, you know what? He's family. So you can be a complete stranger, and, if I like your company, your family had, friends are just, extended family members, I would like to say. There's not much difference. I would protect you. Hopefully you would protect me. But yeah, I would go out of my way and help you. There's a lot of people in the angler program that, I met and I enjoy. I consider them my family. Mm-hmm. I haven't told them that, but, deep down, I'm like, oh, he's family. She's family. I don't care, who you say.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to share about your business that we didn't cover?
There was something, but I don't know. Oh, yes. Okay, so starting a business, it's not easy. You're gonna have very slow periods. For example, this winter break, we had a couple people had some funerals. We had one order, and we were like, we would love to do a lot more, but we didn't have the opportunity. So, you know, it was slow and we were scared, like, are we, you know, dying out, or are we not, you know, as, you know, unique to everyone else? But, you know, we have a wedding this year in May or April. So, you know, you're going to have low and slow periods in a business. So just keep chugging along, and, you know, it'll start to pick up slowly. It's probably going to take a couple years at least. If you're lucky, maybe a year. I don't know. But it'll take a couple years for you to actually, you know, stay busy enough. Like, completely, you're booked and you're like, holy cow, this is a lot of business, and I don't know how we're going to handle it. So it will take a good amount of time to actually, you know, be busy completely throughout the whole year and not have slow times.
Yeah.
For us, at least.
No, I think that's very true. I feel like there's seasons in the world that are a prime example of seasons in business. So
yes,
the term "let the ground rest" is often used for winter, but that can apply to so many entrepreneurial ventures as well.
Right. And, you know, it doesn't have to be winter. Like, for us,
right,
since, you know, we're in Nebraska, you know, Nebraska winters aren't usually the nicest to plants. So we're going to be, you know, slow. We're, you know, not as busy growing plants, but we're planning, you know, plants, what we want to buy, preparing for Valentine's Day. You know, we are preparing for that. We've gotten one order so far, so hopefully we pick up. But if y'all know anyone who needs some Valentine's flowers, just contact us.
Yeah, there you go.
Shameless plug.
That's awesome.
But yeah, you know, everyone's gonna have slow seasons. Just don't worry about, like, don't worry as much, so don't stress yourself out. Worry about it a little bit, like, how can I, you know, improve my business during this time of the year? Like, how can I have at least one sale a week or something like that? So don't worry about it. Just stay calm. You're going to pick back up. One of my professors, starting out, was like, hey, can you look at some of my arrangements and, you know, say if they're good looking? He looked at me, he's like, Cinch, I used to work for a lady who spray painted all her flowers blue. It was hideous, but she sold out of everything she had. So if people like what you have and what you're doing, you're going to sell out of it.
Yeah.
You're going to sell.
Thank you so much for listening to the Angler Journey podcast. Be sure to subscribe and leave a review so we can keep building people, building businesses, and building this community.